Hi, everybody. It's meteorologist Joe Chaffee on this beautiful Wednesday. I'm a little dark. Let me see if I can get a little light in here. See what that does. That's a little better. Okay. I'm uh, I'm just enjoying the beautiful weather that's outside, and I got a bit of a late day today, so I don't have to rush in. But I'm doing my video a little bit later on, so let's take a look at what's happening. And there's really not too much overall going on, so I'm not going to go 15 minutes today, but we do have an enhanced risk of severe weather across Iowa into Wisconsin and northwestern Illinois. Pretty large area of marginal risk that runs from the north central Rockies all the way back up into the western Great Lakes and through the middle Mississippi Valley and central Plain states. So it's a kind of a pretty extensive uh, range of severe weather. And with respect to the current radars, at least, we're seeing much of the activity right now in the form of some rain showers and nothing too particularly heavy across Wisconsin and back up into Minnesota. This is, by the way, part of the process of getting the warmer air that's going to be coming up into the east. And also, by the way, we also have some showers off in the Gulf Coast. You can see them here running into coastal Louisiana. As far as when we look at the satellite this afternoon, it really is a beautiful day here in the east. There are some clouds, though, up through parts of upstate New York, a little bit of instability, cloudiness, and through parts of New England as low pressure moves away to the northeast. But we've got this next high that's right in here that's going to settle off the mid-Atlantic coast. You can see those coastal showers developing in the Gulf of Mexico along the Texas-Louisiana coastline. And then, of course, you've got the wet weather that's running up now into the upper Midwest. In the West, it is a rather nice day for the most part. Look at the, love the way the visible looks in the West. You can really pick out low clouds, the low clouds along the shore, along the coast from the Pacific coast from down from California through the Pacific Northwest that they're there almost every morning. You could see the valley fog that forms as well, and the effects of the topography throughout most of the West is so evident on these satellite loops. It really is very interesting when you take a look at it. And there really isn't too much happening in terms of actual, sensible weather going on. It's pretty quiet at the moment. Now, I want to just take a look real quick at the water vapor imagery because there are some indications on some models that this part of the tropics looks like it may want to get a little bit more active. So let's see how this evolves over the next few days. We've been pointing out the fact that the zone of convection on the water vapor imagery has been generally from 10 degrees north southward toward the equator, which is pretty far south. But we are starting to see some signs of that area bulging up a little further north. So this could be the beginning of the process by which the Atlantic tropics get more active. We'll see what happens in the next 10 or so days. There's still a lot of dry air here, and you can see it here in the darker brown shades on the water vapor imagery. Fairly saturated, though, in the Gulf of Mexico and through much of the Caribbean. Not a whole lot of dry air there, but there's a lot of wind shear going on. A lot of these cloud tops, you can see them blowing pretty much from west to east around this huge upper low in the Atlantic, and yet another huge upper low that's out in the eastern Atlantic, and that one's actually moving westward. This goes way up in the atmosphere, by the way. You can see these upper lows dominating the pattern in the Atlantic, so they create hostile environments for tropical development until they get out of the way. Okay, so let's look at what's going to happen in the east, and I'm just going to tell you that my thinking now is that outside of some scattered showers and thunderstorms that might start occurring as early as late Friday, and then again maybe late Saturday, and again late Sunday. Sunday's got the best chance of scattered thunderstorms, I think. But beyond that, Monday and Tuesday going into the 4th of July, which is Tuesday, so I know a lot of folks have probably planned out a 5-day weekend. I think most of the time the weather is going to be okay for the areas from New Jersey, New York City, the Hudson Valley, Connecticut, Long Island, and maybe even into eastern Pennsylvania. I think the further inland you go, probably the better chance you stand of seeing some showers and storms. But this high moves out, and we return west-southwest flow that brings in the very warm and humid air. The isobars, if you notice, they're more southwest than they are west. Okay, they're more like this as opposed to like this. If they were westerly, that's usually when we burn up here with temperatures in the mid to upper 90s. I don't think it's going to be that hot. I think it'll get to upper 80s to low 90s in most places, and that should be about it. And some coastal areas may not even get that warm. Now, here's the system for Sunday. I think, again, this affords the best chance of showers and thunderstorms on Sunday because we do have a weather front that's moving on through. Now, models were stalling that front out and creating some wave action, but now it looks like the push might be a little stronger. So my general view on Monday and Tuesday is that it'll still be very warm in much of the Northeast, but it will be less, the southern areas of the Northeast or the northern mid-Atlantic, it'll be rather warm, but it won't be excessive, and it will also probably be a bit less humid Monday and Tuesday with this high to the north. So it may turn out to be quite nice right through the 4th of July. I don't see any big problems here or even in other places in the country where, yeah, there are going to be showers and thunderstorms running around, but there's nothing really all that exceptional. And I'll quick flip to the west, and we'll take a look at that. Same idea. I'm going to, for the western part of the U.S., there really isn't too much happening now. We've got a couple of weather systems that come out of the Rockies and head into the plains, but as far as the west is concerned, it's just, I think it just, we're going in a typical summer mode here right through the 4th of July. So it looks like much of the western half, I'm just going backwards here now for the weekend, but much of the west from the Rockies westward, right from Saturday through Wednesday, looks very good. I mean, outside of the scattered shower or thunderstorm, that really is pretty much it. Now, just real fast, we're going to cover the upper air. And I just want to show you a couple of things that are going on. Then we're going to have to see what happens here. One of the overall patterns, we've been talking about the fact that this persistent trough in the east does pull up, and we do get a bit of a ridge here, but it's not a big ridge. It's very flat, and another trough swings in there for Monday and Tuesday, so that's why it cools off. And as we go through next week, we've got this persistent tendency for the jet stream to want to drop southward, and you've got this ridge out in the west. This is where it's probably going to wind up getting hot in the southwest out to California, and that ridge building northward up into the northwest. That's going to mean we're going to have troughing here in the eastern states. So again, it will not be able to get all that warm. And what's very interesting is, there's a tendency for troughing here as we move through the first week of July and beyond. And we're going to have to see whether anything, is there going to be anything coming out of the tropics at this point with this tendency for troughing in the eastern part of the United States. And I've been making this argument now for a number of weeks. This is something we're going to have to, start paying attention to down the road. I will show you that when we look at the surface on the GFS today, and I have not seen the European. We talked about, I mentioned earlier about what was on the water vapor imagery. The model today, once we get past the first, week of get into the 4th of July, you start to see these lows, that these tropical waves that move off the African coast, and the GFS today wants to spin one of them up, so you can see it there as it moves it north of the islands. Now look, as I said with the other one, which was remarkable that it even had that the way it did, because that showed it out almost 16 days and just with Cindy, and it wound up being correct. With this, and also with Brett, again, I would just caution at this point, anything you see with the models throw out in terms of tropical storms really has to be taken with a salt mine full of salt. But, let's see how the overall flavor of the pattern goes over the next couple of days and through the weekend and into the next week, and we'll see how this evolves. All right, folks, we're going to cut it short today because the weather's too nice and there really isn't that much going on. Be safe in the areas of the United States where there's severe weather risk today. And thank you for being here on my YouTube channel. We welcome all the new subscribers. And again, if you are new to this channel today, hit the red subscribe button on the channel page and become a subscriber. It's absolutely free, and you get notified when there are new videos up. And don't forget, check out website posts on meteorologistjoechaffee.com and Angry Ben for New York City on nycweathernow.com. Have a great day.